Namaste, Soul Circle!
I'm Candace.
And I'm Steven, and we're from Arcana Mind Body Spirit, located here in Toronto, Canada. On today's episode, we will be discussing the 4 elements, specifically the element of Earth.
The 4 elements have a deep and rich history throughout many religions, cultures, and spiritual practices. For example, the 4 directions of indigenous cultures, anything with pagan origins, Buddhism and the 4 Noble Truths, and even Judaism, which speaks of the 4 worlds. Scientists and philosophers would come to agree that our very existence is made up of these 4 essential elements: air, fire, water, and earth.
Let me tell you, earth medicine is some of my deepest medicine, but it's one of the most gratifying as well.
It's where my love apparently lives, so there's always that.
The sky, the stars, the trees, animals, and us humans are all a balanced part of these elements. And even though we are all different from each other, we are essentially connected to this universal tie, the elements. So let's talk about Earth and find out how this particular element plays a role in who you are and the way you navigate through your life and relationships.
This is great foundational knowledge for anyone looking to discover more about working with any of the metaphysical tools. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button below so you can keep up with all 4 of the elemental videos as well as any of the other videos on Arcana Mind Body Spirit. We're working to learn and use all that is within the realms of metaphysical and self-growth. Let's get to it, shall we?
Let's grow together. All right, let's get Earth.
Yes, the north, the element of Earth.
In this video, we are bringing our full attention to the direction of north and the corresponding zodiac signs, which are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn.
That's right, and in this video we're going to go through the different themes, keywords, explanations, descriptions, and correspondence like crystals, animal totems, etc., that correlate with the down-to-earth, literally and figuratively, element of Earth. So let's get to it.
Let's do it. So the element of Earth is stable, grounded. It can be very slow moving and bring with it many lessons and all the potential that patience, a disciplined nature, and stillness possesses. Particularly when manifesting tangible things such as money or completion of a job and steady, trustworthy routines. There are so many gifts given to us by this element besides the soil in which we grow our food. But also think about the possible power of ley lines that crisscross the earth. And so often we find their alignments are the sacred grounds with protected stones such as Stonehenge or Angkor Wat or the pyramids of Giza. Yeah, all these natural landforms that carry spiritual energy. The magic of the universe showing itself in tangible sights throughout this element of Earth itself. It's beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Earth is also symbolic to the cycle of life and death, which is another universal tie we all share and cannot escape from.
I mean, I try.
We can all try.
We can.
You can't, though.
But, you know, I'm 27, so I'm far.
Yeah, and I'm 24.
What grows and comes from the earth also inevitably dies and goes through the decomposition process back into the earth. And the process repeats, hence the feminine energy held by this element.
Yes, yes. In that womb.
Yes!
It's a beautiful thing and easily leads us into the topic of the strengths of this element within the characteristics of a person. These people with a lot of earth in their charts are practical and chase results. In order to achieve those results, they maintain their ability to stay grounded and don't let emotions and distractions get in their way. That means they are great people to build a solid foundation with in any capacity or area of life because they always always get the job done.
They get it done.
Get it done.
Yeah.
You can guess, with all that said, there is an unprecedented level of loyalty, focus, and organization. Even if they're messy, it's organized chaos, you could say, right?
Yeah,
Like it's they still know where everything is, right? Like there's a pile of stuff, they know exactly where that one thing in the pile of stuff is. When it comes to earth sign people, there's no room for chitty chat and small talk mumbo jumbo. They value deep connections, informative and educational conversations. Oh, and I cannot forget, earth signs are super sensual.
Yeah, you definitely won't be disappointed. Right, Candace? Right?
What can I say? Earth signs love and express it through the touch and feel of their bodies.
So now that we know that Candace is getting that sweet, sweet lovin', let's move on to some weaknesses, or rather the shadow aspects of someone's personality that could cause some issues. Although they might be sensual, they actually struggle to express emotions, and therefore an earth sign can tend to avoid doing so altogether. They therefore tend to steer away from anything that doesn't follow the rules, and it can be almost obsessive in regards to how they want to do something. They tend to think their way is the only way, and you better come with some like solid, hard facts and references to back up everything that you are trying to say, right? If you're going to change their mind, you've got to bring it. Yeah.
You're not wrong. I feel like I've experienced this firsthand. That behavior can come across as judgmental and a little bit arrogant, but it usually comes from their need of perfectionism. If they feel like they don't have the answer, it actually causes anxiety. But with not being open to learning from other people's lived experiences, their lived experiences, earth signs can end up having narrow frames of mind, becoming overly cautious, and sometimes their lives can become stagnant.
This can happen with work. Earth signs have a tendency to become workaholics. They always feeling like they could have done more, no matter what the project. So they stick to what they know and continue to push themselves to the bitter end. This can show up as demanding, strict, defensive, possessive, and sometimes smothering towards like either their projects or even their loved ones. Yeah.
That's true. And don't forget, this element is about tangible things like money and material possessions or physical resources. They love to make money as much as they love to spend it.
Yeah, and there's nothing wrong with wanting or chasing high quality experiences and things.
No, true, that's true. But if you're not careful, an earth sign can become overly obsessed by these things. And once again, miss out on other opportunities. Again, go back to learning from other people's lived experiences. Right. It's so important to step out of your comfort zone as an earth sign, and as hard as it might be, know that earth sign people have an uncanny ability to accept the hardships of life because they're so resilient. So take those risks and welcome change without judgment. Let me say it again. Without judgment. You can handle it, and you might need it more than you know.
Yeah.
So welcome it. Take it in.
Yeah.
Go for it.
So what about the chakra for the earth element? Well, if you haven't guessed it, is your root chakra. Candace, show us your root chakra.
Oh.
It's also known as Muladhara. It connects you to your ability to feel grounded and safe within your life. Your sense of healthy, solid family relationships, home life, and personal well-being with your environment. Within the world around you, all of this is found inside that root chakra.
The root chakra is the starting point of our development. It's instinctual, it's primal energy. It's about how we survive in our animalistic nature and how you get your fundamental needs met, which makes sense when you consider the element of earth and the characteristics of being the builder.
Right. Yeah. If you have air signs with the idea and fire signs being the initiator of taking action of that idea,
that leads us to the earth sign that makes it all come to life. You know how to manifest, okay? Earth signs, you know how to manifest. And that's the key word when considering the root chakra.
Why don't we talk about colors here? Realistically, any color that is found in nature. And that can change depending on the season that you are in. The oranges and gold tones of fall, winter with white or lush shades of green, you know. But predominantly, the colors associated to this element are green, black, and brown. And if you're looking at like the Lakota medicine wheel, you'll even see white. So there's all kinds of colors. There's also associations to the root chakra color, which is red. But again, I'd say it's mostly greens and brown, and take on whichever color relates to the context of your work that you're doing. Or even maybe look at the environment of the season that you are in, and the colors corresponding to that.
Yeah. Working with the earth element in your own space with tangible tools or natural symbolism that might present itself to you would be using the earth element symbol, which is an upside down triangle with a line through the point. Yeah. Placing some soil on your altar or incorporating it into your meditation practice by doing it barefoot on the grass or in soil. Get your hands dirty in your garden, or maybe
feels so good.
Yeah,
right?
Get some dirt on your fingernails.
Yeah.
Maybe place any plants you've cultivated onto your altar, or use them as an offering, any clippings. You can also burn some of what you grew or other herbs as well, which is a nice overlap of all the elements. Also consider working with the pentacle, metals, or wood.
Tarot is another great tool, and the earth element is represented through the tarot cards within the suit of pentacles, or it could also be called the coins, within the minor arcana representing material possessions, prosperity, security, and also what you aim to achieve. If you want to pull a major arcana card to put either on your altar or even use it as a focal point on a meditation, I'd probably look at the Empress, the Hierophant, the Hermit, the Devil, or even the World card. Yeah. That said, definitely look out for our upcoming tarot series, where we are actually going to break down all 78 of the tarot cards. It's going to be wild, guys. We're excited for it.
It's going to be an awesome series, because it's important to remember for the element of earth, or any of the elements, the major arcana cards all have different meanings and representations, but fit or speak to at least one of the earth characteristics you've learned about today. So choose what you need in regards to the context of your self-work, your healing, and your goals.
Absolutely. It's always important. When choosing any tool to work with, either crystals, I like to work with jasper, jade, rutilated quartz. There's a lot of different agates. One of my personal favorites is petrified wood. We have malachite. You know, malachite followed us all over Europe that summer. I like copper. Any of the black, like black tourmaline. Tiger's eye is great, and venturine, and even amber is great to use. Yeah,
for sure. Plants and herbs such as barley, corn, oak, ivy, wheat, patchouli, mugwort, moss, or even root vegetables are really great for this element. Toss a little into the cauldron, the abalone, or make a stew with safe edibles representative of this element, and make a delicious stew to feed your loved ones.
We actually do that every single Yule. We make a big stew for all of our family and friends.
And everyone brings a little something and tosses it in the pot.
Yeah, and they all sit there and we stir it all together. It's something that we do. It's one of my favorite traditions.
Yes. Oh. Earth sign ways.
Earth sign ways. This is what it's about, being balanced. You know?
That's absolutely true.
If you want to use any of the animal totems, or tend to find any of these animals showing up in your life, take note of how the earth element is flowing, or maybe not flowing in your life. Mythologically, what you would be looking for are gnomes. No, gnomies. But otherwise, you may want to look for wolves, bison, stags, bears, or any animals that burrow into the earth, or even any of those really large, slow-moving animals that teach us peace and patience.
So, well, why don't we do a little free flow question section to see where we're at with the element and follow along as well. And please, please, please comment below with your answers too.
It's wild for me because talking about Earth just dives into some of my deepest medicine that I've had to do work on for so many years. So let's rip open these wounds, shall we? How has being grounded, how connecting to Mother Earth and natural cycles, let's talk about how that's impacted your life. How have you found that your life has changed when you get more grounded, when you get more Earth? Are there any times in your life where that's been obvious or specific for you?
I feel like there was a large portion of my life where I did not feel grounded. And it was only came with, getting help that I needed and stuff. But now in a space of high function and like out of dangerous situations and unhealthy situations, that I can look back and I can see that. And I can also compare and I can say, okay, wow, I was super ungrounded and I was seeking that. Again, I will say it a million times, like you constantly tell us you're a Leo moon. I will say it again, my chart is really balanced. My chart is super balanced. And I was denying certain aspects of myself, and not just Earth, but in a lot of ways that you can track through the elements. And now looking back at those, I can see that there was just this desire to have this home life. And everywhere that I was in these traumatic whirlwinds, I tried to create these little spaces, these little pockets of that home. I tried to like rope in the people that were in my life to like have that grounding and have those things, right? And it was so much work. And that's why I know that it wasn't where I needed to be. And now that I'm in a different space and I look back at that and I can see that and I understand that. And now I've found myself in a place where I myself am on steady ground. And it's not just that I've created a small little pocket to stand on that steady ground while everything is like a wild whirlwind around me of everything else. But like every step that I take forward, I've cleared a pathway to walk on. I've cleared the roots and the trees, and they're all there and they're working with me to walk this path, and I'm good. And now when other things come into my life, they only make it more sturdy. They only build off of those things. They only add to it. It's like if I had a shelter, the people that come into my life now are like, oh, do you want doorknobs on the door that already exists?
Right.
And in fact, you have a doorknob, but how about I have these really fancy ones that I think would be appealing to you? And so they can add those, and I'd be like, maybe I'm going to replace my doorknobs, and maybe I'm only going to replace one side, and I'm going to keep my other one on the other side. You know what I mean? But I have that ability, I have that strength, and I have that clarity, and I just feel like everything right now in regards to my relationship with feeling grounded and safe is so strong that I'm able to focus on the other things, right? I'm able to say, I want to have this expansive like thoughts and minds and create these projects, and I'm able to be more air and more fire because of how grounded and safe I feel. I can actually turn my back to it and know that if I fall, I'm going to be caught not by a bush of thorns, but rather loving, safe, warmth, and love. And it just makes moving forward and expanding and like trying new things and like looking towards other parts of my life makes it so much easier. I'm so ready and able to do that because for the first time, I'm safe.
You are safe.
Yeah. And I know I'm safe. Not that everyone else can see.
You are safe.
I feel safe inside myself. Yeah. So what about you? La 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 la. La 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 la. La 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 la. So tell me, how are you grounded? How have you found your footing
Right. So, I mean, you you know me better than anyone in this world, probably. This is deep medicine for me. This is hard work for me. I created a very successful life and a very like unbalanced coping life, let's say, based around not needing to ground and still be super successful and super happy and super aloof and all of these things. And it wasn't until I actually started doing work with earth elements and seeing the gifts that it offers that I really started seeing the richness that it could give me. I mean, as a child, my version of working with earth was always like spending time in forests. I spent a lot of time outside, I always have, and like running through creeks and being around plants and stuff like that. But it never dawned on me as an adult that like, maybe you should learn to cook. Maybe you should like have some plant friends. Maybe you should. It really took me a long time for me to even see value in some of those things.
Yeah.
And
I remember when I first met you.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely saw zero value in a lot of that. And I'm really proud of myself and my journey over the last 7 years of how much that's changed, how much stillness, how much slowness, how much patience, how much understanding. Until you've really grown a plant, you don't really understand that it's going to go through cycles. And it kind of allows you to forgive yourself. It allows you to forgive the times where maybe you're not blooming. Maybe you're in the dormant phase. Maybe you're...
I have to say that that's probably a really important lesson to give men.
Yeah.
Because if you don't have your period.
No. We do not even understand.
Or anyone who's identifying as such, but like if you have a uterus and you have a period and you have literal cycles.
Yeah.
Every single week is a new portion of my cycle and change in not only my emotions, but my physical body literally shedding and changing and moving. And if you have the genitalia that is labeled as male, you don't necessarily have that.
You've never even had to even understand that if
changing of the cycle.
Yeah. So, for me, in learning that and spending time in that in the last a huge amount of years that you and I have been doing this work and watching the Wheel of the Year, being more like watching plants that you first gifted me and now watching them like branch off into multiple different like grandparent plants, you know? I feel like in doing that, I understand what I want more. I understand what's important to me more. And it's been a really beautiful journey. The Earth and North quadrant are always going to be my biggest teachers because as an air element, it's like my opposite, you know? It's like on that other, it's like if I'm up here floating, then someone down here is like, oh no, come down here, you know? It's really, when I'm in balanced state, it is some of the most beautiful times of my life for sure. And I feel that.
Beautiful. All right, so that's a wrap on the earth elements. We really hope that you all enjoyed this as much as we did.
Yeah.
The elements are such a great way to begin understanding how to look at the details in your natal chart, tarot readings, and the zodiac in general. Yeah, and if you want to learn more about the earth element and how it is working for you or how it could be doing more for you, please contact us at info@arcanamindbodyspirit.com, or you can visit our website at www.arcanamindbodyspirit.com. There we have a full list of different products and services, including natal charts and balancing work and Lifepath coachings and crystal healing and candles and Reiki sessions. So much can be offered. You can also reach us and keep up to date by following all our social media platforms such as Instagram and Facebook under the same name, Arcana Mind Body Spirit. So hit the like and notification button and join us next time for all things metaphysical. Bye for now, Soul Circle, and don't forget, magic is real. It sure is. Sure is. Mwah. Much love.
Namaste.